All right, friends, this week's topic is all about animals. So, obviously, you know dogs are some of my favorite creatures, but any type of animal is totally fine for this activity. In fact, you can do, it doesn't even have to be an animal, but I thought since our theme this week is animals, whether it be mythical animals, hybrids of animals, whatever kind of animal you want to do for your project is cool with me. So the first thing you need to do for this activity is print out a photo of an animal you'd like to do. And you want to have, if you do a Google search for the animal you want, I would do close up or something where you have a clear view, but you don't want it too far away for this activity. You don't want the background to have all kinds of details. You want it to have a lot of just contrast, and keeping it simple, I think you're going to get better results. Another thing you need to do when you go to print out your image is I would try and fit it to the page. You don't want it too teeny tiny, and you want to print it out in black and white, okay, not in color. So this activity, all you need is a pencil, because we're going to be doing pencil shading. And some of you did a similar activity to this at the beginning of the school year. If you remember, where we took a piece of newspaper, a black and white image, and we cut it and we traced the other side and matched the value. We're going to do the same thing, but I like this one because you can print out any animal you want, or even it could be an object, anything you want to do for this activity. And the first thing you need to do is fold your paper in half. So you have to, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to trace one end and match the value, and then the other end is just going to be the same as the paper. So if I folded this in half this way, I could trace and shade in the top part of my dog, but I don't really want to do that. I think because he's kind of bisected down the center, I think if I draw this whole side, it's going to look better as a picture when I'm done. So you decide. You either fold it this way, horizontally, or vertically, depending on what you want to draw in your picture. So I'm going to fold it in half. And now that center line is going to be my guideline. So I need to decide, do I want to draw this side that has the nose, or this side that just has the side of the fur? I think I'm going to leave this side with the nose on this side, and I'm going to draw this side. So what you need to do is get another piece of copy paper, and what you're going to do is you're going to find a window in your house to trace it. And I'm going to show you how you're going to do that. All right, so I am at a window. You want a window with some nice light, and also an area in your house, a window in your house where you're not stooping or you have to reach really high. You want it to be a comfortable height for you if you can. So what you're going to first do is take your photo and you're going to tape it to the window. And you want to use, I'm just using just kind of clear tape because that's easier to peel off. You don't want heavy duty tape that could affect your window. Okay. Okay, and just want to tape it down so it doesn't move. And then you're going to take your paper, and again, if your paper is horizontally, you're going to put it, if your image is horizontal, you're going to put your paper horizontal. Mine is vertical, and remember, this is the part I want to draw. So I'm going to line it up as best I can on that center line, and I'm going to tape that down. And then simple enough, you're going to take your pencil and you want to trace as many details out as you can on your image. Okay, and I'm going to do that now. So I traced the other half of my dog. So the next step you're going to do is go back to your original photo and you're going to cut it on the line that you folded. And try and be as accurate as you can with that. Okay. Now as you see, this is going to be matched up to this for shading purposes. We're going to mount it. You need another blank sheet of paper for this. So what you're going to do is definitely need to save this because you need to be looking at this when you do to matching your values for shading. Okay. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this side and I'm going to glue it on just like that. Now, for your drawing, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to fold it. And cut along the line. And of course, when I peeled my tape off, I ripped my paper a little bit, but that's okay. When I match it with the glue stick, it's not going to be a good big deal. And I'm going to glue it. Now, I'm not going to glue, I'm just going to put kind of glue on the edges, because what I'm thinking is if I put like chunky glue stick where I want to do shading, it might show up and leave marks. So be careful when you're gluing the drawing half. I would just again put a little bit of glue, not that much, maybe tiny little flecks, because I don't want it to show up when I'm doing my shading. And I'm going to be as accurate as I can to kind of match up the lines as best I can. So I'm seeing that ear's matched up pretty well. And down here's matched up pretty well. All right, now comes the fun part. We need to match values. And if you remember, if you did this activity with the newspaper at the beginning of the school year, you want to really look, have your other half of your photo right next to you to make sure you want to get the right value scale. Remember, darker values, you're going to have to press a lot harder with your pencil. Lighter values, you can do lighter and lighter. Now, with a lot of animals, especially close-ups, this is called texture shading when you see the fur. So to do texture shading, you just want to kind of do little lines in the direction the fur is going. Like I can see on his neck, the fur is going more on a horizontal versus up here on his ears, it's going upward. So I'm just going to kind of follow as I do shading the lines of the fur. All right, so you're going to watch me do that now. Sped up, of course. All right, friends. So, did my pencil shading. As I realized going through the process, a number 2 pencil, if you remember, it's very hard to get black. So I guess, you know, you can use a black colored pencil, but I just used my number 2 to try and get as dark as I could. And what's going to happen is it's going to turn a little bit shinier, so the texture is not going to be exactly exact. But as you see, it's a pretty, you know, you can match pretty well. And another thing I realized is to always shade a little bit darker than you need to go. If you remember, the best way to see if your picture matches up evenly is to tape it to a wall and take a step back. And if the goal is to make your values, you want them to kind of look like they match each other, kind of squint at it. A lot of times what happens is you think that you've shaded dark enough, but you need to actually go darker. So that's what I had to do. I had to go back quite a few times with my darks and add another layer, like in my ears and my eyes and under the mouth here and the neck area, darker than I thought I needed to do. And I did you see, like cross hatching shading, which is lines in one direction and then crisscrossing in another direction. Okay, and that's a great way to add texture and value to your picture. And keep overlapping those lines to make things look a little bit darker. All right, I actually just found a black color pencil, and I just wanted to see by adding that if I could achieve some of those darker values, and I actually did. If you notice, my eye is definitely dark. But if you only have a number 2 on pencil on hand, that's totally fine. It just may be a little bit easier for you to go over the darker areas if you have a black color pencil. All right. Bonus challenge, you could even try doing this with a color photo and matching it with maybe some color pencils or crayons the other side. So I hope you enjoyed this animal portrait activity. You can think about this as an option. The dragon eye option is another choice. Or again, any type of art activity you'd like to do for this week would be awesome. So maybe I'll see some of you at the our Zoom art share on Thursday. I'd love to see what you're up to. All right, miss you guys. Bye.